Hey everyone, welcome to Beach Investing. I'm your host, Andre Angelkovsky. We are in Oshawa today. So we've shown you the before video, and now we're going to show you the after video of it all completed. So the owner basically took this bungalow, and we'll tell you the financial details inside when we see them. But basically he converted it into a legal duplex and now is in the midst of renting it out. And in this crazy hot market that we all think that Toronto is having, well, we're experiencing very similar stuff here in Oshawa, and we'll ask Chris, the owner, what's happening and why is it so crazy, and the demand is really high here in Oshawa as well. And we'll show you the rents that we're going to be anticipating here and the cash flow. So come on in and follow me. So the landscaping here was all done. You'll see it, as you can see in the before video, but this was all done. Chris is a good landscaper, so he has good access to all this great interlock and stone. I'll try to get a discount for you viewers too. Hey Chris.
Hey Audrey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
So you've done quite a transformation here. I can actually see when we walk into the house, this used to be a wall here.
Yeah, there's a lot of work done here, a lot more than we originally anticipated, but we decided to go full open concept, make a nice huge kitchen, probably bigger than most kitchens for a rental unit in the area, but we decided to go big.
So this was all enclosed, and this was structural, the wall that we're kind of standing in right here.
Yeah.
So what did you had to put a beam in?
Yeah, so we put an LVL beam in, and then we were lucky that one of the posts in the basement holding up the main floor was like right below this wall, so we were able to tie the load into that support beam and down into the floor in the basement.
Okay, so you've changed almost everything in this house.
Yeah.
This was not the original plan, was it?
No, so the original plan, we knew going in that we were going to have to put a basement apartment in. The basement was a blank slate, and we wanted to get a permit to make it a legal duplex, and we wanted to just kind of patch and fix up the upstairs to make it rentable. And then once we started getting started, and while we were waiting for the permits to come in, more and more comparable properties were coming on the market, and prices just kept going up and up and up, to the point that houses in the area with legal second units were selling for, over $100,000 more than what we originally anticipated they were selling for when we first bought this property. So we basically decided to go all in, and like I say, go big and make the nicest possible property we could make to, kind of be at the high end of that market valuation wise for a property in this area.
Okay, so what did you buy the house for?
So we bought the house for $325,000, and it's a 50-foot wide lot that backs onto a ravine. And
what did you end up spending?
So we've ended up everything all in. We're basically at the finish line now, and it's coming in at around $155,000 in total renovation costs.
Okay. So I guess the extra renovation costs that you originally budgeted for is because you wanted to go big.
Yeah, we basically spent an extra $50,000 once we started seeing what comparable properties were selling for and what potential rental income we'd be able to get, which was a little higher than we initially anticipated. So we decided to make a nicer property with these nice finishes and granite countertops and full open concept layout, so that we'd be able to capitalize on that market.
Okay, so the original, we'll talk about rents after we see the places, but there used to be a doorway there to go access the basement.
Yeah.
Now it's covered. So let's what's behind those cabinets there?
So this is ensuite laundry.
Okay.
For the upstairs tenants.
So this is all legal, everything?
Yep. And then downstairs, they have their own laundry as well.
Was it challenging to get this place legalized?
Yes and no. It's challenging in the sense that there's a lot of requirements, but if you just follow the guidelines and know what those requirements are, then it's pretty easy. So we knew going in that in Oshawa, one of the big issues is parking. You have to have at least 3 parking spots, only 2 of them can be in tandem. A lot of properties, especially if they're on a smaller lot, you just don't have the capacity to put in that parking, but this property, we bought it, and it already had a double wide driveway that could fit 6 cars. So we're already good, right? Ceiling height in the basement, that was one of the first things we looked at when buying the property. This property already had a deep, high and dry basement, so we knew that it was going to be no issues there.
What is the ceiling height requirement?
I'd have to check again. I'm pretty sure that you have to be 6'8" over 90% of the area. And there's also, you have to have, like in the living room, kitchen area, you have to have 5% of the floor area as natural light coming in.
Yep.
So we had to punch a window out in the side of the structure, but then you can only punch so many windows out depending on how many feet away your house is from the next house over, because you can only have so much of the surface area of the side of your house as glass if the neighbor's house is within 4 feet of yours.
Okay.
So because we're on a bigger lot and the house was far enough away, we didn't run into any problems. So it's important to know if you're buying a property that's not legalized, that if you want to legalize it, you know, you want to try to buy one that you know has the attributes that you're going to need in order to meet the requirements.
So that saved you, I guess, a lot of time from not having to go to committee of adjustments?
Yeah, there was no committee of adjustments. It was just a simple permitting process.
Okay.
And then inspections, inspector coming in, making sure everything met the code requirements.
And is it make your property more valuable compared to a non-legal 2-unit apartment?
Oh, absolutely. Oshawa actually is one of the stricter municipalities on cracking down on illegal basement apartments. In Toronto, I find, you know, if you can have a non-legal basement apartment or a non-conforming apartment, but as long as it meets like fire code regulations, you know, you can have people living in there and you won't really have any problems. In Oshawa, if you don't have a legal second unit, they are very, very stringent if they find out on, you know, not having that as a possible income suite. Okay. So then you have to go through all the work. I've had friends that have had to go through the work afterwards to legalize their income suites, and it's costs a lot more money doing it retrospectively like that.
Okay, so I guess you're standing in one of the bedrooms?
Yeah, so this is the smallest of the 3 bedrooms, but still a decent size. The 2 back bedrooms are pretty much the same size. We knocked this window out into a sliding door with a deck that's just being completed so that the upstairs tenants would have direct access to the backyard without having to walk around the house.
That's actually really nice.
Yeah, so you see there's a nice little patio down there and a beautiful ravine. There's a stream down there, and in the summer when all the leaves are out, it's quite beautiful with all the trees.
Yeah. One thing I didn't ask, I don't think, is you spent about 100. There's the other bedroom. You spent $155,000 on renovations, and what is the property worth approximately now?
So we, as I said, bought the property for $325,000. We ended up spending $155,000 in renovations, and then when you add your closing and accessory costs, we're probably at about $490,000 in total costs. And comparable properties that haven't been finished as nicely as this property have sold as high as $550,000. So we're expecting the valuation for this property to fall between $550,000 and $600,000. So we're looking at least about $60,000 in equity built into the work. Now, some of that is just the appreciation. The property, if we had bought it for $325,000 and not done anything to it, it would have gone up in value. But we definitely feel that we added a lot of value, especially by having the legal second unit.
Okay. Quick comments on what the potential rent is for up here, this 3-bedroom unit.
So this 3-bedroom unit up here, average 3 bedrooms in the neighborhood that are not as well appointed as this go for about 1,400 to 1,450 all inclusive. We're going to be getting 1,690 all inclusive.
Awesome.
So about $240 a month more, and that's because of the ravine lot, the finishes, everything being brand new, open concept, granite countertops, the whole works. So there's been a lot of good feedback. We've already been receiving applications, and probably have a tenant sign any day now.
Okay, let's go see the basement. All right,
Perfect.
Chris, we are in the basement now.
Yep.
This is the actual basement apartment, which is legal.
Yep.
And I see you're just doing the last minute touch-ups. Okay, you walk us through this.
So we have the kitchen here. They just had to finish grouting the backsplash. Same finishes as upstairs, obviously just a little bit smaller. And then there's a nice open area here. We can put a movable island. We can put a nice table with seating. There's lots of options. Over here, this is the utility room. So the tenants downstairs have their own laundry unit, which is going to be in here. And one of the perks of the downstairs unit is all this storage space that they're going to have, including the use of the cold cellar.
Yep.
So it's pretty nice to have all this space.
Actually, there's a lot of storage space.
And then over here, this is the living area. So this is actually the new window that we had to knock in. It wasn't here originally. The other window over here, this one was here. But in order to meet the requirements of 5% natural light as a percentage of floor area, we have to put in the second window.
Okay. So this ceiling height, we have at least, probably have about 7 feet down here, right?
Yeah, 7 feet, and then even under the bulkheads, we have over. I think you have to have a minimum of 6'5" even under your bulkheads. So
Okay.
we have that.
And you have here this nice little closet.
Yeah, nice little nook. This jut out. Unfortunately, we had to have this jut out into the living area here in order to be able to run the HVAC. And still have the proper fire separation between the upstairs and downstairs units. So, but we still have lots of space down here. It's a great layout of the room.
How many bedrooms do we have in this unit?
So we have 2 bedrooms, one here, one here. They're basically the same size. This, to me, is the nicer bedroom. This bedroom actually has 2 windows, so it doesn't even feel like a basement down here. There's so much natural light. The ceilings are fairly high. It's you know, it's a really nice spot.
Okay.
And then over here we have the bathroom. So again, same finishes as the upstairs. Everything's just kind of being finished off right now. Within the next week, we're gonna have everything done. We're gonna have it put on the market and ready to rent.
What do you plan on for rent on this place?
So the downstairs will be able to get $1,350 all inclusive.
$1,350 all inclusive. Is upstairs going to be all inclusive?
So upstairs is all inclusive, $1,690, and downstairs all inclusive, $1,350.
Yeah. Have you have an estimate for approximate cash flow with 20% down payment?
So with 20% down payment, because based on the feedback and research that we did in the area, deciding to rent it with the utility costs included, we're going to be bringing in over $3,000 a month in gross income, and our total carrying cost, including the utilities, is probably about $2,300 a month. So we're going to be cash flowing about $700 a month after we refinance with a 80% mortgage.
Oh, so that's after refinancing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Oshawa is a pretty hot market, and it does have cash flow.
Yep. Lots of cash flow.
Well done, and thank you for educating us on Oshawa, and a nice comparison to what Toronto is doing right now, and
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
different markets, but different options as well.
Yep.
Okay, well done.
Thanks,
actually, one big lesson you learned for this project.
For this project, well, I think this project I really built on lessons I learned in my last project. If you look back at the videos and find another one with me in it, that another renovation I did in Toronto for a duplex property, and I didn't get formal drawings done and really planned the layout out ahead of time. We kind of just started into renovations and saw where we ended up, and then I ended up paying a $15,000 price to reconfigure the basement apartment. So this time we learned from our mistakes and we did a lot more planning, and didn't really learn anything new, just more realizations that everything seems to continually cost more and more money. So you really gotta, you know, pay attention to where you're spending money and how much you're spending to make sure that you're doing things profitably. So, but that being said, I think we hit a home run here. So, looking forward to the next one.
Okay, congratulations, Chris.
Thanks.